What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and welcome to the first installment of F2P Fridays. The game of the week is going to be Faeria. Faeria is a free-to-play tactical collectible card game that doesn't make a lot of sense as I say it that way, but essentially what it is a combination of board game elements with collectible card game elements, similar to Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone, combined with sort of a game of chess. So what you'll have here is your resource Faeria, which is gained each turn. You gain a 3, and you use that to play the cards that you gain. In addition to that, you have to create the terrain on which you play. So you determine essentially how you will be able to place your creatures on the map initially by choosing where your lands go, and then the creatures themselves will be codified into different flavors based on the type of land that they require to be built. So there are 4 colored land types in the game at the moment. There are forests, deserts, mountains, and lakes. And each of them have their own particular flavors and abilities. In addition to that, as you unlock the cards, you'll notice that they have symbols on them that tell you essentially how many of any particular land type they'll need to be played. So anything that has a specific land type requirement will only be able to be played on that type of land. So that's if you decide to play a bunch of prairies, which are the basic land, you get to place more of those quicker, due to the virtue that they don't actually help you play any land specific cards. You'll just have to be aware of where you'll be able to place them. But that, in addition to after the lands are placed, you'll see in the lower right hand circle there that you also have the ability, if you don't want to place a land, to gain an additional Faeria, the resource that you use to play your cards, or to draw an additional card per turn. So the game offers a significant amount of versatility just in that choice alone. And in addition to the Faeria that you can gain from the turn or the land wheel, you also have the ability to place your creatures by the wells that are on the stage. 2 wells are close to you, 2 wells are close to your opponents, and any creature that walks next to that well has the ability to gain a Faeria to you when it becomes active. You can't do it on the turn it's summoned unless it has haste. There's a plethora of abilities for the creatures at the moment, some that I don't even think I've encountered or read through yet. Because I don't have a full set of the cards. And while I'm on that, the acquisition of the cards is rather fast. A pack of cards is 100 tokens. Your average winning for a particular match in the solo mode, which was recently added, is going to be about 10 tokens a match, which means you're getting a pack of cards about every 10 wins, which is great. But then you also have dailies, which will give you around 40 plus tokens every time you complete one. You can complete it in a single game or a couple of games, depending on the particular difficulty of it. And then they also have quests, which unlock both additional rewards and codices. Now, codices are very interesting in that they give you the ability to play with a set of cards that you do not own individually, by selecting them, and you can choose a mix of codices and cards that you have acquired in the game, or you can just do pure codices. And I find this to be an extremely interesting way to do free to play, because it means that as long as the codices stay diverse enough, you actually are able to create competent decks without investing pretty much anything in the game immediately. And that to me just seemed like really interesting, and probably sparked my decision to actually make a video about the game itself. I mean, not to mention the presentation, as you can see, is gorgeous. Like, the amount of work that has gone into just the sound design, the way that things feel when they happen is great. Like, you can listen to those buff sounds, and the way that creatures attack the gods, which is what your avatar and your opponents are supposed to be. Everything about this game just strikes me as very well produced, interesting, and just, enchanting. So I recommended that a few of my friends already get into the game and start trying it out. And I'm not sure how impressed they were with it, but it definitely caught me off guard. One of the other things to get you acquainted with the game quickly are going to be the puzzles, which are also something that was added with the solo gameplay. So puzzles are essentially pre-made hands and creature placements that they have set up, and then you have to win the game in one turn. As far as I can tell so far, all of the puzzles perfectly work out, and they require you to essentially read cards that you may or may not have experienced yet and understand how the mechanics of the game would work to complete them. Now, you can fail a puzzle, but it gives you a refresh button which allows you to immediately reset the puzzle from the beginning and try again. So you can keep trying until you actually understand the specific mechanics about how the cards work, and eventually completing the puzzle will give you the rewards, which usually amount to some experience to help you level up. Leveling up gains you access to more features in the game, as well as giving you a card pack each time it happens. So, helping players learn the game while giving you ammunition for additional cards and explaining features to you is probably the best example of a collectible card game tutorial that I have ever seen. So kudos to the developers on that, and just everything about this game so far has me impressed. Now, I know it's been out for a few months. I believe it was open to backers for the Kickstarter before it became free to play. It just recently became free to play over the last couple of months or so. So, I am impressed thoroughly by this game, and I hope that you guys will feel free to give it a shot. And if you do, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, I'd love to hear, other people's interpretation of how this works. Now, with the game being in early access, there will be some balance issues, likely with the way that the cards work. But I mean, even card games that have been out for aeons, like Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, and Shadow Era, which I also play, they are still making balance tweaks to cards that existed in that game for quite some time. So don't expect any card game to ever be perfect out of the gate. However, if you are amicable to card games, if you enjoy them, try this out, because I think that this is something that will be on the rise shortly. I've seen a few other YouTubers, after I've taken a look at the game itself, happen to have put up some videos of it, and I think it's time well spent. Either way, I hope you guys enjoy Faeria if you take a look, and until next time, have a good one.